Hello, my name is Janan Kandwano and I'm the CEO, Junaki Holdings Limited, which is a microfinance institution, which is a company that lends money, and we've been doing this for the last, I think, since 2011. So we are proud to associate and we're still doing it. So you can always check us out at www.junakiholdings.com. I am yet here to share with you of what the Lord has put on my heart, because money lending is at my heart, and it is actually our responsibility that we clean it up. It is our responsibility that we grow it. It is our responsibility that we actually get to grow together, and that's why I endeavor to commit time and resources to share with you of what it is that I'd like to, what it is that can actually benefit us. So our today's topic, as always, is the role of associations in money lending. And this could actually apply to several other businesses. Why you need to belong. You see, just like you're born in that family where you belong, it is important that if you're playing in a particular industry, there's a particular association that governs that industry. And that's a bit of a belonging. So your business has to belong. I'll give an example. If it is banking, there's what we call Uganda Banker Association. Even in other countries, there are different associations. These associations even push for policies, advocate for policies and guidelines that favor them. So if you're operating in an industry that does not have an association, it could be that because you've watched this video, it could be that probably it is a moment for you to start one. Because guys could be looking on and waiting for someone to start something. But it is important that every industry has an association that depicts, that advocates for its interests. Because look, most of the guys who are not playing in that industry are not interested in what it is that you're doing. They might not understand your challenges. They might not understand what you're going through. They might not understand that you have actually some hiccups that you're facing. They might actually do policies. And those policies could actually be targeting the taxes, the amount of money that you're paying, or the contribution you're making to an economy, but not minding the hiccups that you actually get to go through. So for specifically money lending, is what I want to concentrate on in my today's talk. So it could be in a different country, so start thinking, do you have an association for money lenders? Do you have an association for that microfinance? If you do not have, what have you done, you as a player in that industry, to start one? So going specific, I want to highlight some of the key benefits. And if you're in Uganda and you do not belong to the Money Lender Association of Uganda, then I pray that you actually belong to one. Why? Because the number of things that we get to benefit if you belong to these associations. Quite a number of things. The first one is we get to learn from trainings, because we conduct meetings and trainings. There are some guys that actually started with even 10 million, and someone grows to 50 million and it grows to 100 million. Why? Because they are learning from the best. Because remember, as you're joining these associations, you're playing at different wavelengths. We are in an association where we have people who probably have $5 million, and probably someone has $1 million. But also guys who have 10 million Uganda shillings. So we have all the different categories of players. So you can imagine the experience that the person who has 10 or $15 million has, and how it can benefit the person who has 10 million Uganda shillings to enable him or her grow to the level that the other person is at. So we get to learn through trainings. We invite experts, guys who have hands-on experience, to share with us. That's one of the advantages. Now, as I've always told you in one of my videos, it's important that you actually commit resources, because I kid you not, this association you actually have to pay. You have to pay membership, you have to pay subscription. Why? Because all this material, even hiring the person to speak to us, you have to actually pay them. Why? Because they have paid a bit of school fees to garner this experience. So you cannot afford to benefit of this experience free of charge. That's why it's important that you actually get to pay that fee. As you belong to that association, sometimes it requires that you actually pay. So it is okay. It is okay to pay, because the benefits that are in there are much more higher than the amount of money that you're committing. So I encourage you to pay and join that association. So if you don't belong to an association for money lenders or microfinance or banking, go and belong, because there are lots of things that are going to benefit. And then two, we do what we call our referrals. Now, if for example, Junaki Holdings Limited, we capitalize on car logbooks. Now, if you come with your land title and probably want chunks of monies, we may not be able to probably serve you. But also we have colleagues who have capitalized on land titles. Now we get to refer our colleagues. So as you're paying this money, you can actually get business that can even recoup the amount of money that you've made, you've contributed in subscription. So it is important that you join the association, because ultimately you may benefit. If a client comes and probably has a land title and he wants chunks of money, I may refer him to you, and that's what happens in our association. If someone posts, I have a client, he has a car logbook, but us, we don't work with the logbook. So what happens then? If what you do not eat, you actually give it to someone else. We usually have a proverb in our culture that what you don't eat, you give it to someone else who eats it. So if I do not use collateral, land title as collateral, and the client comes, he has a land title, then I refer to someone else. So you join this association so that you can actually get business. So do you want to grow? You need to belong to an association. Very, very, very important. Very important. So you could be there and you're struggling with business, so it could be an opportunity that you actually get to get more business from the association. The final point, which is a third point, is it is important to belong to an association because you need to contribute to what should actually guide your industry. You need to contribute what should guide the industry, because I tend to think that every individual has a unique idea or has a unique thing that they can contribute to the industry they play in. You could be having an idea that probably benchmarked in some other country. You could be having an idea of how the industry can actually play out. But you see, if you don't belong to an association, you cannot move you as an individual to probably Minister of Finance or to a policy making body or probably to cabinet to pose your suggestion. They might not consider it. They might not take you serious. But if you belong to one association and it has a number of people, then that means you actually have a voice. You can inform policy. You can propose alternatives that can actually get to guide your industry. Because as I told you, is that sometimes policies are in place that are countering our progress. Policies are in place that are countering our growth. For example, I'll tell you that they're planning to put a cap. You must have seen in the social media, they're planning to put a cap, or probably maximum 2% per month. That is 24% per annum. So that means that you're not meant to give to give a loan more than 2% per month. So you can imagine if such a policy is passed, what happens? And it will affect you. Now you can imagine if that thing is passed, because you do not have an association, you cannot move as an individual and oppose that policy. But if you have an association, it can actually advocate for you and say, look, we are operating in a free market economy. You cannot afford to put that interest rate, and we cannot agree with it. So as an association, we have to have a voice. I have seen associations in different countries that have actually had a voice to the extent that they have even given a seat in parliament to say, look, we have to give these guys a seat because one, they contribute to the economy, but also two, they pay taxes, but also three, they are experts in the industry. Because let me ask you, who is an expert in banking or in finance than you who is lending money? Who is an expert? So we are entrusting our responsibility to some other guys to do things on our behalf. I call that laziness. So we need to wake up and speak up and have a voice for our own things, for our own initiatives, for our own agenda that we propose to guide this lending industry. But also realize that this industry is clogged with a number of guys who are doing wrong things, very wrong things. Someone lends someone money with an intention to sell their property. Now that's not healthy. And if that guy forecloses on that property or they go to court, it still taints the name of the lender. And it's not that person who has done it alone, but several other guys who are playing in the lending industry. So what then happens if you just sit back? But if you have an association, that means you're going to encourage almost everyone, irrespective of the levels they are playing at. You actually get to integrate them, you get to uplift them, you get to encourage them, so they can get licenses and they get regulated, so they can actually do the right thing. So you can imagine if you don't belong to an association, what then happens? What then happens? So it is our responsibility to clean out the industry. The last bit I can share with you is that some of the guys even thought that the license is like probably 3 million or 2 million, 1.5 million. The thing is as cheap as probably 550,000. But people did not know. And yet you can actually through an association encourage guys to get licenses and operate formally, get a formal place and an office, so they can operate in the right way. So there are details. You can always check me out. You can always check out the YouTubes and learn as many things as possible. But also you can sign up for my masterminds that I run in money lending, and we get to walk this journey together. Because if I am better, then you're better, and if you're better, then I'm better. And together we are way better than we were before. So get to sign up for any of the masterminds or get someone to walk with you the journey, to support you, who is playing at a level where you want to be, because then someone will get to hold your hand. Thank you for watching. Endeavor to subscribe, comment, like, but also check us out at www.jonakiholdings.com. Thank you for watching. Above all, go and implement, because if you do not, you will not benefit from the things that I've shared with you. You have wasted your time and your data. Blessings, and have a blessed day. Thank you.